Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Discriminating Gamer. Yo mama's so fat she outweighs the needs of the many. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to go ahead and take a look at Star Trek Star Realms from UVS Games and Wise Wizard Games. In Star Trek Star Realms from UVS Games and Wise Wizard Games, two players take on the roles of Star Trek guys as they attempt to battle each other. That's because there's no real. It's not like one side takes on the Federation and one side takes on the Klingons. Essentially, it's just a head-to-head using these various cards and factions throughout the game. It's based on the Star Realms game system. Now, if you've ever played Star Realms, this game will be very interesting to you because it's essentially just a reskin. And if you haven't, the theme might draw you in, but the game will probably keep you going. Let's take a look. Now, essentially, in Star Trek Star Realms, you have four factions. You have the Federation, the Klingons, the Romulans, and the Dominion. As I say, one side doesn't play any one of those factions. They're just both represented in the game. Now, both sides start with 50 authority points. These are tokens you're going to set off to the side. And you start with a deck, of 8 scout cards and 2 raider cards. Now, the scout cards have a coin on them, trade, and the raider cards have attack on them. You're going to draw, the first person to draw will draw 3 cards, and then from that point forward, everyone draws 5 cards for their turn. Now, the game has a kind of a player board, a cardboard player board you unfold, which has a space for the 5 cards that are going to come out in the trade row. You've also got a spot for the deck, as well as scrap, and also the kind of Ferengi cards, which are always available. So what you're going to do is you're going to, on your turn, you're going to lay down your cards. Now, any trade you have, any gold coins, is going to give you, you can use to purchase cards to put them into your discard pile. Any attack you have is going to attack your opponent, and they must lose that number of authority points. Now, if you play a card that does have the authority symbol on it, you can get back that number of authority points. Now, as you're playing the game and you're getting more cards into your deck, the different factions will play off of each other. So what that means is most cards have kind of a primary ability, which you can always play, and then a secondary ability, which can only play if there is another card of that color that you have played that turn. They will trigger off of each other and give you more attack, more authority, more trade coins, but they'll also give you things like you can draw a card, or you can destroy a card, scrap a card in your discard pile. It'll allow you to purge cards, or just some other fun and interesting things will allow you to do. Make your opponent discard a card. So you're looking to get those combinations of the same factions as much as you can. Now, during the game, you will also have locations that you'll put out in front of you, and these stay out in front of you, give you a persistent bonus as long as they're in play. Now, some of these locations are outposts. If they're an outpost, their shield is in red. If they're just regular locations, their shield is just gray. Well, what this means is people can say when an opponent is playing against you, they can direct their attack against the locations. Now, if it's just a gray location out there, they can go ahead and say, I'm going to destroy that location, but then I'm going to, put so much attack against you. Or they can choose, I want to destroy the location or put the attack against you. If, however, they've got an outpost with the red symbol, before they can attack your authority, they must take out the outpost. And so the outpost can kind of protect you if they don't have enough, because damage doesn't accrue from round to round. They have to be able to take it all out in one hand. So players are going back and forth. They are buying cards. They are attacking each other's authority. They are manipulating their deck through the various card effects. They are hoping to gain more authority for themselves, and they are putting out the locations. Now, eventually, what's going to happen is one side or the other will lose all of their authority. Whoever can force their opponent to lose all of their authority first wins. Star Trek Star Realms. We'll get back to the review in just a moment. I want to take a minute to ask you to check out my other channel, that is Cody Carlson, PhD, where we talk about history, books on history, military history. I even post some of my lectures for my classes on there. Please check that out. Please subscribe to that channel. And now, back to the review. So, okay, as I mentioned before, this is just a simple reskin of Star Realms. Some of the cards, in fact, I think all of the cards here, if I'm not mistaken, are identical to their counterparts in Star Realms. Now, I have to tell you, I love Star Realms. In fact, I've said this before many, many times. If you count the app on my phone, I probably played Star Realms more than any other game I've ever played. It's my go-to toilet game. I play it on the toilet. But I got to tell you, I really enjoy playing the physical game with opponents quite a bit. And it's an easy game to teach, an easy game to learn. This is one of the simplest deck builders, and frankly, it still remains one of my favorite deck builders. And I like this Star Trek version, not because it's terribly thematic. It's not, right? It's just the pictures of the spaceships from Star Trek and then the factions that you're matching. In that sense, it's not very thematic at all. But yet, it's still fun seeing the Star Trek ships and having the Star Trek icons. It's fun seeing it imported into this universe. And then critically, too, I like this set better than just the regular Star Realms set, because one thing I never really enjoyed about Star Realms was the authority cards. I didn't like having the cards represent your authority. I like here the tokens. It's much easier. It's much quicker. I like the tokens much better. Also, too, I really like the board that they give you for this game. Now, it's a very simple folding board, and frankly, it kind of crinkles. It didn't lay down flat very well. So every time I played it, I've used my plexiglass to put it under there. But I like that better because everything's got a place. It's all nice and neat. You've also got, if somebody's learning the game, there's also information there that tells you everything about locations and outposts and all that good stuff. So it's real easy to get people into this game and to learn the game. Fantastic game. I love Star Realms, and I like Star Trek Star Realms even better. This is a phenomenal reskin, reimplementation of a fantastic game, and the components here I like better than the original. So on the Cody scale, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to give Star Trek Star Realms an 8 out of 10. This is one of the great all-time deck builders. If you haven't played Star Realms, you should. But frankly, you should get this version, Star Trek Star Realms, because it's even better. Well, thank you once again for joining us today on The Discriminating Gamer. As always, we'd ask you to check us out on social media, Facebook, Twitter. Please like us there, and please leave comments for us. We'd ask you to please leave a comment for us here on YouTube, and please like and subscribe to us on YouTube. We really appreciate that. We'd also ask you to please give a thumb to this video on Board Game Geek. And if you do like the kind of content we bring here, we'd ask you to check out my other channel, that is Cody Carlson, PhD, where we talk about history, military history, books on history, fun stuff like that. I also put some of my lectures up on that channel. And I'd also ask you, if you do really enjoy what you see here, then I would humbly ask you to click on the Super Thanks button and leave a tip. You know, a recent survey stated that people who can speak more than one language are considered to be more attractive, unless that language is Klingon. Please somebody help me on my feet again, and I don't know where I'm going, and I don't know where I've been. Please somebody help me on the solid ground. It's a long time, and I'll be dying. Once a year I wind up in the band. God knows that I love to fight.
Cromwell said to King, man, it's a funny thing. We don't like how you've led, so we gotta take your head. I've always been a gentleman, you see, but what must be, must be. It's a cruel necessity. The king said in reply, man, I don't wanna die. Cromwell shrugged and said, well, I'd rather you were dead. I've always been a gentleman, you see, but what must be, must be. It's a cruel necessity. Oh, we are all supermen sitting in Parliament chanting for King Charles' head. If it were up to me, you'd still be dead, you see. From you we long to be free. It's a cruel necessity.